I'm actually going to show you exactly how you can not only build voice AI agent that you can sell then to businesses that maybe want some kind of filtering for their leads or just want it on their website for customer inquiries, really a whole host of things. So I'm going to show you that, but I'm also going to show you how to sell it. So let's just hop into that part right away, because that way you can see what we're going to build right away as opposed to waiting until the end and seeing the finished product there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to this screen. So right now, just for some kind of like background before we hop into too much on this, this is my local directory for Round Rock, Texas. So this directory right out of the box was Smart Directory AI, and then all I did was add in my own business listings for businesses in this little city right outside Austin. So basically, all of these are businesses that I added in here, and you can see if we click into something like Tumble 22, it has their business information, it has whatever else that we could get from Google Maps and their website, we could just add in. This business has not yet been claimed. They can claim it. What we did instead, hey, how's it going, Sabrina? We actually have gone to Vertical Solutions, and this is where I put on an AI voice agent that they can use from our website. Now, this is something that you would be able to deploy on their website as well, but we're going to use it on our website to demonstrate to them the value in it. What part of Texas? I'm right outside of Austin. Sorry, I'm like looking over to you. You can answer when you get a chance there, but yeah, I'm right outside Austin near Round Rock, so hence this. Okay, Houston. I've been there like twice, but it's a nice little area. Not familiar with Tombolo. So on their website or on their page, we have this little widget here. So I'm going to walk you through a demo. I'm going to do the full like interaction like I'm a customer on their website, and I'm inquiring about some kind of roofing solutions. So this is a voice AI agent built specifically for them, and this is how I'm going to demo it to them.
Hey, you have reached Vertical Solutions Roofing and Construction. How can I help you today?
I'm interested in looking at just kind of whatever options you have for roofing improvements. My building just needs a new roof.
Got it. Let me help you with that. Could you please share your name so I can make sure we have the right contact information to follow up with you?
Yeah, I'm Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Just to confirm, that's Steve, right?
Yep.
Perfect, Steve. Could you also share your email address so we can reach out to you with more details about roofing improvement and options?
Sure. It's stevek@cedarwebagency.com.
Got it. Just to confirm, that's stevek@cedarwebagency.com, right?
That's correct.
Great, Steve. A team member will reach out to you soon with all the details about roofing improvement options. We're committed to helping you find the best solution for your building. Thanks for reaching out, and have a great day.
Thanks. Okay, so that was a very abridged version. You can ask it other questions. I could hit talk again. This agent has been trained on a little bit of the data from their website, but again, you'll notice that it's specific to this business. So that's kind of the gist of what we're going to be building. So we're going to do it for someone else because obviously I've already built this one. And then I'll just kind of show you step by step how we do it specifically on Go High Level and using Smart Directory AI, but you don't need these tools. This is just going to be the way that I'm showing you how to do it. So first things first, AI agents can perform a host of actions. Ours is going to be more or less, as for this demo purpose, just kind of getting customer information, answering questions. So like very much like what someone might call and ask about if they're trying to figure out just if this business does the right thing. We're going to do it for like an auto repair shop. We're going to use that demo. And this, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. Actually, I've got it in here. So we're going to go into this other tab. So this is roughly, and obviously not drawn to scale, how AI agents work in this setup or really any other. But again, this is very specific to Go High Level here. So your users are over here and they're just looking at the website. When they click on, in this case, to this particular page, or it could be the entire site, they see the chat widget in the corner. Usually the bottom right corner, people are used to it there, so I recommend keeping it there. No reason to like move it around and make it weird for them. That widget itself actually uses the AI training and prompts that we have kind of like encompassed in Go High Level. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how to do the training, how to put all that in, as well as, and it uses those prompts based on what the customer says, based on what you want it to do, to then reach into the knowledge base that we train it on. And that's going to be like their website or FAQs that we put in there. You can upload things. It can be a bunch of different items, but I'll show you again what to do there. And it's going to answer questions. And then, so this knowledge base from their website, sorry, and then this extra knowledge that we put in there and Go High Level. And that might be where we put FAQs and everything. And then it returns an answer. And in this case, our AI chat widget also, let me go ahead and make a small update here, because our AI chat widget actually connects to, I need to change one thing here. It connects to the voice AI. So it connects to the voice AI agent. That's right in between the training here. Let me just make that a little easier for us to see. Let's do that color. We'll do that color. And we'll just make the text a little bit bigger. All right, so the voice AI agent is here. That's actually what connects to there. Just moving these lines so you can kind of like see a little bit more. And the voice AI agent is the thing that's connected to the training. So like very minor difference there, but just for like real clarity on all the things that we have to make here. So that's kind of like the basic setup. I'm gonna walk you through everything, so don't worry about, if it looks complicated, it's actually not that bad. So we are actually going to do it. And you'll notice for this particular chat widget, because it's just for this business, and this is on my website where I have a lot of different listings for different businesses. If I click away from that business's page, I made it so that widget is going to disappear. So you're not going to have people like on, I don't know, let's say this dental website page, seeing a chat widget for your roofing company. You can do all sorts of customizations like that, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. But just to be clear, we're going to have two different agents. I'm going to keep this one that I just showed you, and we're going to make a new one. And it's going to be for this business, Round Rock Auto Center. And they've got a listing on my website, on my directory site. So we're going to click into that now. I think, let me just search for it, because auto. Let's see if it just comes up when we search auto. Yep. So as you can see right now, I also haven't added like an image or anything. I'll show you how to do that at the end if we have a little bit of time. But let's focus on the chat widget at first, because when you demo this, obviously you're going to want their page to look a little bit neater, but you can handle that. Again, you don't have to use Smart Directory for that. You can do that on your own website or whatever. So I'm going to worry about that at the end. So let's go ahead and go into Go High Level, and I'm going to go to AI agents. Now you do need to create the knowledge base in order to connect to everything. But when you create the voice AI agent, like you see, like I'm going to show you, you're actually going to, it's going to prompt you to create that knowledge base anyway. The only thing that I've done in addition before hopping on here is I started the training process because it takes a little bit of time. So I wanted that to be complete before we hopped in. So I come over here to AI agents, I do a voice AI, and I'm going to be taking sips of water throughout this. So you can see if I click on agents list that I have one for that other business we just showed, Custom Vertical Solutions. I'm going to make a new one for Round Rock Auto. Sorry, I gotta hydrate. Now you can browse the marketplace. You can like install free ones or pay for ones. I'm just going to create it from scratch because for our use case, that's simple enough. So you don't need to worry about like diving in and paying for something fancy there. And I'm going to call this Round Rock Auto for good reason. I was hoping I could just highlight their name, but we'll just do this. And I think it's called Round Rock Auto Center. Yeah, Round Rock Auto Center. So I'm gonna use this name a lot, so I'm just gonna copy it now. And just add voice AI to that. And then their business name, so Round Rocks. Let's do that. Oops, Round Rock Auto Center. Round Rock Auto Center. I'm going to use the default here. You could select any number of other voices. For our purpose, I used Jessica as the person that you just heard on the other demo. So I wouldn't worry too much about this, but feel free if you want to select someone else. If you're in a different country, they do have different accents, and you can preview it. They have different models. Again, you can leave all of this kind of just standard as is. The main thing that you want to make sure you do is, you can leave these settings standard as is or change them if it suits you. You definitely want to make sure the name is something recognizable. The business name needs to be that business name. And then of course you want this initial message to have that business name as well. And you can change it how you see fit. I'm just going to keep it right there. All right, that part looks good. So I'm going to hit next. Let me just hit back, make sure I didn't have to hit save somewhere. Yeah, that's good. Hit next. So now I'm going to select the knowledge base. So I started making Round Rock Auto Center. I actually, and that's because I wanted to start the training. I have not gone through and actually added all the information because I want to do that with you. So even though I've got that selected here, I'm going to open the knowledge base in a new tab. And we'll add that training data. Once it loads. All right. Oh, and sorry, I just saw your question. So the chat widget and voice AI are both in the same widget in our smart directory. So they're two separate widgets, and I'll show you, because you need to connect the voice AI with the chat widget. So I'll show you where to do that. But yeah, it's confusing at first, which is why I tried to draw it out in that diagram. So good question there. All right, so we're in the knowledge base now. I'm going to click into the Round Rock Auto Center. And if you look here, when you're on all, for whatever reason, it just doesn't show you what's in all the other tabs. I think usually you think of that being everything. You need to click into web crawler. So I used this earlier, and this is basically what I said here is if I went to add a source, I went to web crawler. I think I can't open it up while this is selected. And I put in just the domain name and said train on all pages. So now it kind of went through and it's got all pages here. Now, if I selected all 173 pages, it would give me all the information that they have. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I will, let's just choose one or two. So let's look at services. Maybe let's just do brake repair. Yeah, let's do brake repair, and that's probably enough information that we can just, for this, again, demo purposes, I can show you how it works. So I'm back in the knowledge tab, and I'm going to find brake. I think it's lagging really hard because of this. Let me do that real quick. View all pages. Brake. Yeah, it's lagging really hard here. So hopefully. All right, we're just going to go to brake repairs here. I think the lag got to me a little bit. We're just going to train it on this page for now. Hopefully it'll finish up by the end. While it's doing that, I'm going to click over to FAQs. And I'm just doing this to show you that you can add more information. So if you're training it on everything on the website, you may not need to do this yourself. But if you're if there's a specific question you want to demo to the potential client, or if it's something where you are really, let's say, you know that they have different packages that they want to specifically sell or highlight or something like that. And so you want to prompt, have your AI like mention some information. This might be a place to add it as well. Let's go ahead and just do, I'm going to add like a dumb FAQ here because I can't think of anything about cars. So do you service Honda Civics? We're just going to put that in here. Yes. And let's just add something kind of like silly here. Yes, only years 2000 to 2009. So this is, again, just to show you how we can add that information. All right, so we saved that. We've just got our one FAQ. I'm not going to go into too many more. This is probably going to train a little bit. Oh, it's already trained. So cool. I thought it might take a little longer. So we already have that one page. So we're trained on brake service and our FAQ here. So now when I go to, I'm just going to X out and do this again. So now we're going to select Round Rock Auto Center, and you can look at, again, this default information. Use this knowledge base that if the user asks questions about the business, service, products, contact details, other relevant information, you can leave this as is. If there's something else that you have need for, put it in there. Details to collect from the contact, name and email. Makes sense. You can also say contacts issue. I'm just going to say name and email for this. You can trigger a workflow when the call is complete. So let's say you had a workflow where you wanted to send an email to, let's say, your sales team or whatever. You could create that workflow separately. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but then you would have that workflow in existence and you can just select it from this drop down. So I'm going to unselect this, but just so you know, you have that ability. For our demo, I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep this selected. So all admins will receive an email notification after the call is complete. So that'll allow me to see the transcript, which is really cool too. And then I'm going to just do web call, and I'm not going to test it here yet. Sorry, I got a little bug on me. And instead of being backup, I'm just going to unselect that. And that would be if this were going to be part of like the phone tree, more or less. So if they called a specific number that's in our pool and no one answered, then it would go to the agent. Just for this demo, I'm not going to do that because, again, this is really like you demoing on your site or on their site how you would, how they could use this AI agent. So, all right, so now we've got our agent created, but we don't really have it connected to anything. So there's no way for us to interact with it right now unless we just wanted to test it. And it'll be much more fun to test it at the end with our like final payoff. So I'm not going to do that yet. Let's go ahead and create our chat widget. So let me go to our little checklist here so you can see where we are. So I showed that one. I have not yet made the Round Rock auto page better. So I will do that toward the end. Set up knowledge base. We set up our voice AI agent. Now we need to set up the chat widget and connect the AI agent. And if it looks like this is going pretty fast, you saw how many screens I've looked through. It's actually not nearly as hard as you might think, which is what's really nice. If you used make.com, if you use Zapier or N8N or whatever else, completely fine. You're just going to have to do some of these connections a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and go to sites. And then if you can see it, I got to move my little face here. If I go on the right screen. So if you can see it up here, there's this little chat widget thing in the menu all the way toward the right. Go ahead and click on that. I'll move my face back because I think that's going to be the only time we need to get up there. So you can see, again, the voice agent that I created for what we demoed at the beginning. But I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to say, let me double check one thing, because I might also need to create a conversational AI agent. I don't think I do that. Yeah, no, I don't need that. Okay. Sorry, I've been messing with too many agents recently. All right, so we're back to the chat widgets area. And I'm going to do a new agent. I'm just going to go down to voice AI. So I'm not going to explain all of these right here. Obviously, there are a bunch of different chat widgets and that you can have. For our purpose, we're just going to do voice AI. So it's going to be very specific to this use case. And then I'm going to name it my Round Rock Auto Voice AI. Seems like a good name. So you see what we've got down here, right down in the bottom corner, is just kind of like where your normal chat widget would be. You can customize the icon, you can customize all this text. We're going to do it really quickly here. Suffice to say, you want to keep, there's no reason you should change the location of this because people are used to the chat widget being down in the bottom right corner. So I would keep it there. However, if you want to change the way it's displayed, you have all of these different options. I'm not going to get too far into it, but if, in this case, let's use what their colors, they're kind of like more of a white style color. So we'll just use we'll use a red for them. And I'm going to select this. Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about that, but we're just going to use a red color for them. And you can see that it's kind of like an orangey red. Instead of hi there, have a question. Say, let's just do welcome to Round Rock Auto Center. I'm going to copy this again because I'm going to use it a lot. How can we help? How can I help? Do it something like that. Here you would turn this on. So if a user comes back or you could enable custom greeting for them. For right now, I'm just going to turn it off. But basically, like if I come back to a chat 2 days later and it still recognizes me because it's in like cookies and stuff like that, then it would say, hey, Steve, whatever the custom greeting is. So widget location, like I said, keep it wherever you want it. There are a bunch of different avatars you can choose. You can upload one of your own face or the owner's face. I wouldn't just do that while you're demoing, but they might like that as an aspect of their business, especially if it's a smaller business. So I'm going to leave the rest of that the same. Actually, the one thing I will change just to show you, because I think this is pretty cool. I'm going to, wrong tab, I'm going to close that. I'm going to go ahead and take a little screenshot of their logo. Now I know this is a little messy. This is again, me just demoing it for you. And I'm going to actually upload their logo right in here. So that way it just kind of adds that kind of like cool little element to it. I'm going to hit insert media. So you can see how we customize it there. So again, like there are things that you can do that might be a little more effective when you're trying, when you're talking to people and going to sell this. Now you notice with everything we've done, we can't yet save it. And there's one key reason why. So if you go down, we're going to get to like title and intro in a second, but if you go down to additional options, you need to have the website URL here. So this is where you would put your agency website. So I'm going to use mine, which is cedarwebagency.com. And then I'm going to change the display name so it displays that. And you can see that's right down here at the bottom. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. And you can see it's right down here at the bottom. And you can say powered by, I like that. So I'm going to keep it. I would advise that you don't initially go for like physicians, dentists, etc., where you need this checkbox for HIPAA, just because of like data security and things like that. If you're comfortable with it, fine. But generally, that's just my advice because you don't want to hop into that. So I'm going to turn that off, and that way they don't have to consent that they're sharing privacy that might be personally identifiable and related to HIPAA laws. Zoom out a little bit just so we can kind of get there. All right, instead of talk to us, I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna customize this. You can see where it changes. I'm gonna add a little AI stars icon, and I'm gonna say, welcome to Round Rock Auto. Now, again, I know this is on my site. Part of this is me just demoing what they can see. So I want them to picture this on their site rather than looking at it as on my site. I want it in their mind, oh, this would look really cool. This sort of branding could be out there. You know what I mean? So let's do that. And by the way, now that we added our website URL, we can hit save, which I keep forgetting my head is in the way. We can hit save in this top corner. Let me just show you. If I remove the website URL from here, then it goes away and it won't let me save it. So you need to make sure if you're having trouble saving it, go through the chat window, then do additional options, and then put in your website. Now you can hit save. We're not completely done. I like to save things as they go on. Language, English, United States. Now agent, this is where you're selecting your voice AI agent. So just for whatever reason, this one's on top. I'm gonna hit Round Rock Auto Center Voice AI. And I'm gonna leave the voice AI agent name the same. Or no, sorry, I'm gonna correct it because it says Vertical Solutions. Round Rock Auto AI agent. And this description is what goes right here. So I'm just gonna change that to say your custom AI agent. And again, I'm doing the little stars thing. You do not need to do stars or anything. That's just what I'm doing right now. So, and you might want to put something else here. You might not want to highlight AI so much. But again, if you're selling this on the call with a customer, if you've got them on a Zoom, if you've got them on the phone and they're looking at the website and you're kind of walking them through the voice AI, whatever you're doing, then you may want to kind of like play up some of these elements. That's all I'm saying. Rock Auto, your Round Rock Auto AI agent. So there we go. You see all of that. It's too duplicative. Let's go ahead and just make it support agent again. Sorry about that. That's too much AI agent there. All right, so I'm gonna hit save. Chat widget saved successfully. And now we're gonna get the code. So you can put this on the website a couple different ways. For Smart Directory AI, for your client's website, for wherever you're going to put it, I recommend using Google Tag Manager. I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of setting up Google Tag Manager. If you have Smart Directory AI with the training, there is a section where Cameron goes in more specifics on how to do this. I'm going to do it for you right now, but you probably have a lot of questions if you're not familiar. Some of that obviously very Googleable, but also we do have the specific training on it to give you more information. So I'm just going to hit copy, and I'm going to go to my Google Tag Manager. Oh, you know what? Well, yeah, I'm going to put it in there, and then we'll see if I screwed up anything by just kind of testing it live. So I'm going to go to tags, or I could just go to new tag here. You can see I've already got a couple different ones. I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to call this my Round Rock Auto Voice AI. I'm just going to say agent. And I'm going to go down here to custom HTML. So long story short on Google Tag Manager, Google Tag Manager is basically, or it provides a container of code where it loads on the page. And so you put Google Tag Manager on your website. You have to put actual code for them for like within your website and redeploy it that way. But once you put their code on, then as long as you put other code in like containers, and this could be something for like analytics, this could be for custom chat widgets like we're doing right now, then you don't need to redeploy the site itself to get that code to run because it actually lives in Google Tag Manager. So you can just redeploy Google Tag Manager, which is really easy and much, much easier for most people, including the business, including yourself if you're managing their website, because you just hit save, hit publish, and then it deploys the chat widget instead of you having to make a code change. So that's my like TLDR. I think that's a decent explanation though. So I pasted the code that we got from our widget there. And now I have to figure out, or we already know where we want it, but I have to put the proper triggers in here. because right now, if I just paste this in, that code isn't ever going to deploy. So I need to actually say, when do I want it on the page? So if I just hit all pages, that wouldn't really make sense for us. I want to create a custom where it's going to be this specific page. And I'll give you a couple caveats here. So on your directory site, I have like 10 years as a software engineer, so I'm going to try to avoid getting too technical here, but the way that it changes pages is called routing, and it's a little bit different. So it has client-side routing and server-side and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get too far into it, but I'm going to make this specifically so it'll work for Smart Directory AI. If you want this information, let me know in the comments after this, and I'll put it together in a little document. It's fairly straightforward and easy. If you're familiar with Google Tag Manager, the alternative is, since you're just doing this for demos, I don't recommend doing it all over the site for all of your clients. You can just do it on a page view. So that's what I'm going to do here. So long-winded way of saying that there's some stuff that we can get into if you really want to know how to do it and make sure everything's perfect. This is going to be a simplified version for this demo. So Round Rock Auto Center page view. So I'm just going to say page view, and page, we'll do page, I'm just going to do page URL contains, and then I'm going to navigate to, I'm going to select the actual page for where we want to display this chat widget from Smart Directory AI. And I'm going to paste it right in here. Now, if there's a slash at the end, you want to delete that where you paste it. If there's like a question at the end with a string of numbers or letters or anything, you want to delete that before you paste it in, because you just want to make sure that this is going to match the lowest common denominator. So you could just match the page path or whatever. I like to match the full URL and just make sure that you don't have anything weird on the end. So like you can see here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. You can see here how there's not like a slash or anything else at the end here, because we want to make sure that this contains is going to fit our scenario. So I hit save, and I'm going to do one other thing. So this gets into a little bit of what I mentioned, a little more complexity, but it's fairly straightforward. So I'm just going to do Round Rock Auto Center history change. Now this handles that routing scenario that I mentioned a little bit better. And just doing this because I don't know, I'm a little bit, I really want this to be technically perfect. It's going to be pretty close to technically perfect. I'm not going to show you the thing that would make it technically perfect though, because that's, I'll put that you put that in the comments if you want that, and I'll do it. All right, so we're just going to save that as well. This is going to allow for two different scenarios. One, if we go right, it's not going to work yet. We still have to save, actually launch this. But for one, if we just go to this page immediately here, then it'll load the chat widget. And also if we're on the home page and let's say we go to auto repair and we click this, then it'll also load it. But if we didn't do both of those things, then it wouldn't necessarily load it that way. So, all right. So right now we've created everything we need there. We got our tag, we got our trigger, our two triggers. Let's go ahead and with Tag Manager, you can hit preview. That's going to be the quickest way for us to see if this is loading right. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to open up a new tab, and then it's going to allow us to see if we were to deploy that code. Will it, what triggers will fire and will it function as we expect? And just saves us a little bit of time. You can move this little window around while it does that. So right now, again, we're not on that page. We should not see the chat widget. So far, so good. We go to auto repair and I click on Round Rock Auto Center and you see, so the page loads and then our little chat widget loads. So now let's go ahead and test it out.
Hey, you have reached Round Rock Auto Center. How can I help you today?
I would like to get my brakes repaired for my Honda Civic.
Got it. Let me help you with that. First, can I get your name, please?
Sure, it's Steve.
Thanks, Steve. That's Steve, right?
Yep.
Great. Could you also provide your email address so we can contact you?
Sure, Steve K at cedarwebagency.com.
Thanks, Steve. Just to confirm, that's STEVEK at CEDARWEB@GENCY.com, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. A team member will reach out to you shortly to assist with your brake repair for your Honda Civic. Thanks for reaching out, Steve, and have a great day.
Cool. So that's like your very simple demo. You can also do a lot more in terms of adding like different prompts and things like that with the conversation AI. But that in your like very basic sense is just one way that you can demonstrate it. And I hit finish there because this was just our Google Tag Manager preview. So I'm going to X out of the preview tab and I'm going to hit submit because we know that it's working. And then I'm just going to add in the Tag Manager specifically added a voice agent for Round Rock Auto Center. And because that's kind of a long name, I'm just going to put the same thing in the description. And that part is live. So now it sometimes takes a minute. So I'm going to do MD cache hard reload and we'll see if it is actually on here yet. There we go. So everything functions as is here. Now, the only thing that I want to change is if I go back to so I'm going to go back to my voice AI here. So what I want to do, I want to go to my actual AI agent. So you'll notice that if I click in here, I have agent goals. And all I have is to answer questions, get contact information. I don't really have anything about finding out more information from them and talking with them. So I could make that experience a little bit better. So let's go ahead and say, instead of just use this knowledge base if the user asks any questions, let's go ahead and say, use the knowledge base if the user states a need and see if you can confirm that we can help them. Acknowledge the need first. Right, so let's just see about that. You know what? There we go. Actually, this is what I wanted to do is hit advanced mode and let's get deeper into it. So that was a pretty straightforward way that we could do it. This prompt can be much, much more complex here. And we can add a whole lot of different things that we want during the call, after the call, new actions. So we could trigger a workflow, we could update contact fields, we could even do appointment booking and everything. If you really want to like sell someone on it, I would say that you should play around with some of this. I'm running out of time, so I don't have too much time to get into all of this, but these are the sorts of things that you could highlight for them. You could even go so far as doing the appointment booking or whatever. And I think that's probably going to be your primary way to sell it, but you can definitely play around with these sorts of things. And I think that 2-minute demo that we just did is going to be pretty solid for helping them see the possibilities. Cool. So that's pretty much everything there, except making this page look pretty. Since we're on Smart Director AI, I'm just going to go ahead and do that really quickly because it takes all of 2 seconds here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do a screenshot of some kind of good image for their profile picture. So let's do some breaks, and let's go to all services and scroll down and try to find some good images that they might like. And I'm just going to do this. So this is mostly for demoing this sort of thing, because you could also just use AI to create the image for them. But let's go to Smart Directory AI. And it's going to load here in just a sec. It was already loading and I hit refresh. That's on me. And once this loads, I'm just going to add these 2 pictures, and then I'm going to add a description. And then this is basically something that next week I can call them and see if they want a quick demo of how an AI agent might help them. And you'll notice specifically they don't have an AI agent on their site. So that's why I picked them in particular. Well, let's go ahead and go to businesses. And we're just going to search by name, Auto Center, Round Rock Auto Center. You can click it or hit edit. So I'm just going to edit over here. And business details. And they also have not yet claimed their business. So that's something else that we could do. So profile image, this is going to be the little square that shows up in search. So I'm going to use their little brake pad there. I'm just going to apply the crop as is. That looks pretty good to me. And now for the cover image, we are going to do the same thing, except I'm going to use my screenshot that I just took. And yeah, I'll just do it like that. And that image is uploaded successfully as well. Now I need to make sure that I actually save it, because if I don't save it, then that doesn't help. Oh, also let's do a quick business description. So let's do a chat GPT for this. Just grabbing a tab that I can move over here. All right, so can you create a good optimized business description and like formatted for rich text for Round Rock Auto Center. And I'm just going to copy and paste that in. And let's just see what it comes up with. So using HTML, I did say rich text. Where am I? There I am. Let me just change it. So, sorry, HTML, just like for a Word doc. All right, this is what I meant to say. Now, you would want to go through and actually make sure that this aligns with their site and everything, but basically what I'm showing you is the type of things that if you are demoing, so if you're on the phone with them, or sorry, if you're like doing a screen share with them, or if you're going to this place, let's say it's a location near you, and I'm just adding spaces to make it look better. And you're demoing this live and they see this, you're going to blow their minds. I mean, like, this is the type of thing where nobody expects that you're going to walk in and say, hey, like, I'm not asking for your business. I'm showing you, well, that kind of it, but like you don't start it out that way. You're like, look, we built this. This is your listing. I've got an AI agent that can like answer inquiries for you. I notice you don't have one on your site. Is that something you're interested in? Let me just show you what it looks like. And if you have all of this here and their listing looks good, they're going to be pretty impressed already. They might even, depending upon like their website and stuff, they might want you to also host their website or make some changes or whatever. They might have other things in mind. So this is why I'm saying this can like blow someone away. So let's go ahead and hit refresh. And wait for the image to load. Oh, you know what? I did not. Did I hit save? I don't know if I hit update. I think I did. There we go. I also might not have waited enough. All right, so business description is there. Let's see if my image is, there we go. Took a second for my image to come through. All right. So you probably want a much better image, but this just gives kind of like a little demo of the type of thing where you're walking in and you're showing them their listing and then you do the exact same. So for the voice AI agent, this one is not connected to a phone number. So it's, I think the selection is like web AI or web call. Yeah, so this one is not connected to a phone number. If you're doing the option where, let's say they think phone and availability. So if you're doing this, if you're enabling this where the AI agent is like a backup for a phone number, then you need a phone number here. So yeah. And then of course, if you're doing like setting working hours where you only want it after hours as well or something like that, you can set that. But yeah, so this one in particular is just a web call, and then you're basically charged through like Go High Levels, the like ChatGPT or whatever level you've got it connected to. And I think you might have to start that up front. Let me see, I forget if, oh, you can change the LLM model here. Yeah. So you could do like GPT-5 Nano or whatever else. And, you know, it looks like that one's basically free right now. But yeah, so you're not actually, you don't necessarily need a phone number for this, I don't think, in any cases, unless you're doing the actual like phone call support from there. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't know if I changed anything that I didn't want changed. Yeah, so as far as I know, you won't need to be A2P approved for anything voice AI related. I think the exception might be outbound though. But you should be able to do this. And then if you want it to support a phone number, I think that's where you actually have to have just that phone number pool. I think you have to have it within Go High Level. You may be able to attach it or something like that, but that part I'm not 100% on. But yeah, I mean, if you have any issues with that, I would say, you know, let me know. But you should, you know, based on just everything that we went through here, you should be good to go. But yeah, definitely when you're testing it as well, if you don't have the A2P, so the A2P is really so like you can text. That's specifically what it is for and what the requirement is. Having the phone number is, so you have to have the phone number to text from, and you have to have A2P. You have to like put it registered through A2P to be allowed to text as a business. Does that help? Sorry, I keep looking to the side because that's where the chat is. But I do have to hop off. If you have other questions, you can put them in the comments, reach out to support as well. But that's everything from me. And hopefully this was really informative. I had fun going through it. I think we accomplished a decent amount in a little bit of time. So you all have a good one. If you have more questions, again, put them in the comments. Reach out to Smart Directory AI support directly, or if you put them in the comments, I can reach out for you. Yes, choose web phone when setting up the voice agent. That's really for that testing area. So you can, if you want, if you go back and rewind this or watch this later, you can pause where I'm like doing the setup and it'll show you. But when you're testing, it'll give you an option to do like the like web phone to test as opposed to doing your own phone number or anything. All right. Have a good one. Thanks for hopping on.